first meeting, which took place in Madrid, Spain in January 2017, was with Gjorf Oganov, who had previously worked at the Russian embassy in the United States, was a senior executive in the Deripaska company and was believed to report directly to Deripaska. Manafort initially denied attending the meeting. When he later acknowledged it, he claimed that the meeting had been arranged by his lawyers and concerned only the Pericles lawsuit. Other evidence, however, provides reason to doubt Manafort's statement that the sole topic of the meeting was the lawsuit. In particular, text messages to Manafort from a number associated with Kilmanek suggest that Kilmanek and Boya Arkin, not Manafort's counsel, had arranged the meeting between Manafort and Oganov. Kilmanek's message states that the meeting was supposed to be, quote, not about money, end quote, but instead, quote, about recreating the old friendship, end quote, ostensibly between Manafort and talking about global politics. Manafort also replied by text that he, quote, needs this finished up before January 20th, end quote, which appears to be a reference to resolving Pericles before the inauguration. On January 15th, 2017, 3 days after his return from Madrid, Manafort emailed KT McFarland, who was at that time designated to be Deputy National Security Advisor and was formally appointed to that position on January 20th, 2017. Manafort's January 15th email to McFarland stated, I have some important information I want to share. I picked it up on my travels over the last month. Manafort told the office that the email referred to an issue regarding Cuba, not Russia or Ukraine, and Manafort had traveled to Cuba in the past month. Either way, McFarland, who was advised by Flynn not to respond to the Manafort inquiry, appears not to have responded. Manafort told the office that around the time of the presidential inauguration in January, he met with Kilmanek and Ukrainian oligarch Serhiy Lenavokinich at the Westin Hotel in Alexandria, Virginia. During this meeting, Kilmanek again discussed the Yanukovych peace plan that he had broached at the August 2nd meeting and in a detailed December 8, 2016 message found in Kilmanek's DMP email account. In that December 8 email, which Manafort acknowledged having read, Kilmanek wrote, all that is required to start the process is a very minor, quote, wink or a slight push, end quote, from DT, end quote. An apparent reference to President-elect Trump. It continued, and a decision to authorize you to be a special representative and manage this process. Kilmanek assured Manafort with that authority he could start the process and within 10 days visit Russia. Yanukovych guarantees your reception at the very top level, end quote. And DT could have peace in Ukraine, basically within a few months after inauguration. As noted above, grand jury and statements to the office, Manafort sought to qualify his engagement on and support for the planned grand jury, grand jury, grand jury, grand jury. On February 26, 2017, Manafort met Kilmanek in Madrid, where Kilmanek had flown from Moscow. In his first 2 interviews with the office, Manafort denied meeting with Kilmanek on his Madrid trip, and then, after being confronted with documentary evidence that Kilmanek was in Madrid at the same time as him, recognized that he met him in Madrid after all. Manafort said that Kilmarnock had updated him on a criminal investigation into so-called black ledger payments to Manafort that was being conducted by Ukraine's National Anti-Corruption Bureau. Grand jury, grand jury, grand jury. Manafort remained in contact with Kilmarnock throughout 2017 and into the spring of 2018. These contacts included matters pertaining to the criminal charges brought by the office and their Ukraine peace plan. In early 2018, Manafort retained his longtime polling firm to craft a draft poll in Ukraine, sent the pollsters a 3-page primer on the plan sent by Kilmarnock, and worked with Kilmarnock to formulate the polling questions. The primer sent to the pollsters specifically called for the United States and President Trump to support the Autonomous Republic of Donbass and Yanukovych as Prime Minister. And a series of questions in the draft poll asked for opinions of Yanukovych's role in resolving the conflict in Donbass. The poll was not solely about Donbass. It also sought participants' views on ledgers apart from Yanukovych as they pertained to the 2019 Ukraine presidential election. The office has not uncovered evidence that Manafort brought the Ukraine peace plan to the attention of the Trump campaign or the Trump administration. Kilmarnock continued his efforts to promote the peace plan to the executive branch, that is, the U.S. Department of State, into the summer of 2018. Post-election and transition period contracts. Trump was elected president on November 8, 2016. Beginning immediately after the election, individuals connected to the Russian government started contacting officials on the Trump campaign and transition team throughout multiple channels, sometimes through Russian ambassadors, and at other times through individuals who sought reliable contacts through U.S. persons not formally tied to the campaign or transition team. The most senior levels of the Russian government encouraged these efforts. The investigation did not establish that these efforts reflected or constituted coordination between the Trump campaign and Russia in its election interference activities. Number 1, immediate post-election activity. As soon as the news broke that Trump had been elected president, Russian government officials and prominent Russian businessmen began trying to make inroads into the new administration. They appeared not to have pre-existing contacts and struggled to connect with senior officials around the president-elect. As explained below, those efforts entailed both official contact through the Russian embassy in the United States and outreaches, sanctioned at high levels of the Russian government, through business rather than political contacts.